And then we ended up in a refugee home, basically an old hospital that was just like turned into converted, right? And then basically how you have to picture it, there's just one room, kind of a patient room, and that was your apartment, and then you had commercial kitchen and bathrooms. And it was on 2 stories, and it was kind of outside of the Dorf, so you had to getting into the city was like almost 1.8 kilometers walking, you know.
Wow. Howdy und servus, and welcome back to another episode of The Pod Abroad. My name is Paulina de los Santos, and I'm an American who has lived in Munich, Germany for about 9 years. And on my show, we talk all about cultural differences, life abroad, different stories and experiences from immigrants here in Germany. And today, I am joined by a very dear friend, Ali.
Hello.
And I'm very, very excited for this episode. Ali has one of the most unexpected stories that I've ever heard. So from growing up, being born in Iran to fleeing and coming to Germany, then to studying in South Texas, y'all, where I was raised. Shout out 956.
956.
How is it that two people who lived in the valley in South Texas are here in Munich, Germany right now? Just crazy. And then he came back to Germany. So it's a whole story of resilience, identity, you're home away from home, kind of figuring out what that means, and growing up between these different worlds. So we want to talk all about today the truth about living life as a refugee in Germany and you growing up. We're going to get real, Ali. We haven't gotten such into a deep dive into your childhood.
I probably need some tissues.
Yeah, I was going to say ooh, I didn't pack the tissues, but we're going to get into it today and I'm super excited. Another side note is that Ali is part of the Pod Abroad team.
Fact.
He helped me literally even before I launched this podcast, y'all. He helped me with all the branding, my little icon that you see and banners and everything. He recently popped off and completely rebranded my thumbnails and it changed my life, y'all. It really did. So, man, I have 1,000,001 things to say about Ali, but I will hand it over to him for a little introduction.
What's up, guys? Intro.
Yeah,
my name is Ali. I'm originally from Iran, as you said. 30 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah, it feels old.
Me too. Twinsies, 95.
You're also 30?
Yeah, dude.
Crazy. Man, it's crazy.
I know.
I notice it after sports.
That's why we're not drinking a beer. We're here with a little schorle.
And I've been living in Germany since 2000, so more than 25 years. Studied in Texas. And I work as a designer. So digital designer, brandings, websites, YouTuber, a lot of YouTuber. And besides work, I love to do a lot of sports. Play golf.
You went to UTRGV in South Texas.
956.
Yes, for golf.
For golf, yeah. I was on a scholarship. Spent 5 years in Texas, actually.
Crazy.
And yeah.
I'm excited to dive into it today. I want to start from the beginning and take it back to your childhood. So you said you moved to Germany in 2000. That means that you were 5 years old.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about where you were born?
Yes. I was born in Tehran, Iran. So the capital city. I don't remember much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I still watch to this day a lot of YouTube videos on how Tehran is today.
Wow.
Just learn more about the culture. And my parents, I always say moved, but we flew. So we flew from Iran in around 1999, 2000 through a lot of different stations that I also don't remember all of them, but I think we went through Turkey, we went to Spain, we went to France. So
wow.
We just back then there was no way to kind of immigrate. So yeah. And then we ended up in Germany with actually the goal to go to the US. That's
really,
yeah. We we applied for the green card lottery back then. We were in Bremen because my dad had like an uncle up there. And then we applied for the lottery and we had to just wait. And then 9/11 happened.
Wow.
That was like later on that year, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with US was just gone. So we were like, okay, what are we doing? And there was not a lot of options. So we applied for asylum in Germany. And yeah.
Crazy. In the end, like Germany was not necessarily what you wanted. It wasn't the dream, but maybe it was what you needed.
Right.
In the end, like all these years later. Yeah. What was the reason? Like, why did your family have to flee Iran at the time?
For sure. So my parents were kind of supportive of the Shah. For those who don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me all about it.
A lot of people think Iran is just what media like says it is today, but we had like I think 2,500 or 3,500 years of like we had a king.
Yeah.
A kingdom until 79, and then 79 there was like an Islamic revolution, they call it, and so the whole world changed. And my parents were like supportive of the Shah, so
which wasn't good.
The Shah was like, I mean, it was at the time? No, well, the king had like much more freedom. He had a vision of kind of Iran, how I guess more Western countries are even back then. And I think Iran was like one of the top 5 countries back then, also like from economy and so on. And when like this Islamic shift happened, they like a lot of things went just backward from like, I guess, from innovation and so on. And my parents just didn't agree with that. And they knew like they were raising 2 children, so me and my brother, and they wanted to like provide us with a better base. So that's why they moved.
Crazy. Yeah. And you were 5 years old, so like you said, like maybe you don't remember much. All of it.
I guess I remember on the journey. I remember one time we were in Paris, and because my parents thankfully had a lot of friends here and there, so we met people in France, and then we were in front of in the Disneyland.
Wow.
But we didn't have enough money, so that's like one of a very key memories I had, because like as a child, you know, Disney, you see Mickey Mouse everywhere.
Did you go in?
No,
you were just in front.
Yeah. So I still have to like go.
You haven't been back since?
No, I mean I've been to Paris, but not to Disneyland.
Yeah, but not to Disneyland Paris.
I know,
Ali, you gotta make it happen.
It's funny that I think about it. And what else? Yeah, I remember like the time when we arrived in Germany. I think the entire journey I have like as a very nice memory, because for us it's just like travel and fun. But now that I know like the true story, it was like very harsh for my parents. Very like it's just super leaving back everything you have to just try to provide a better life for your children. Yeah, with no idea. And I just want to point out, there was no, like back then we had like barely phones. There was no internet. There was no Google Maps, you know. No. And my parents, like we always talk about it, and I'm like, how the heck did you guys just like have like the guts to do that and just to go for it? Oh yeah, like I don't know, US doesn't work, let's just try Germany. Like it sounds so like easy because we are now in the world of internet, AI, whatever. But back then you had to like kind of,
you had a dream, and like
and you have to like talk to people. You're like, hey, and you don't know English, barely know English, no German.
Wow.
You know, so so when I think back, it's just insane how they made it.
Absolutely, especially like being forced, like it was circumstantial.
Sure. Right, 100%.
But crazy, like shout out Ziba and Pema.
Yeah, facts.
I love it.
You know them,
Yeah. Side note, I met Ali's parents. I think I've met him a few times now, but one of my core memories was going to Oktoberfest here in Munich in 2019.
Yes.
I think it was, 2019, pre-pandemic. And Ali's mom, like, and I got so drunk.
With my mom. You guys were wasted.
We were drunk. Like, I normally didn't even like drink beer, but like, dude, your mom brought the vibes. My German wasn't even that good at the time, and she was so loving and so kind. Was like, you know what? Like, we're just gonna vibe anyway. Like, we're gonna have a good time. And she was really the sweetest. Yeah, like, I have such a core memory of that day. It was so good. But at least I still remember. Sure. I do.
Yeah, and I remember I would always make fun that you don't know German. But now
I know. It's getting better.
For sure. I'm
very proud. And I'm on my journey, dude. I'm signed up for a
Yes.
B2 course in September.
Crazy.
I'm ready. So let's jump into first impressions of Germany. I know you said you were 5 years old. But do you remember, like, do you have any memories, maybe even later on, that you can still recall about life in, what Dorf was it?
In Osterburken.
Osterburken.
Shout out Osterburken.
Shout out, hometown.
Yeah, I can give you more background. So basically, after we had to stay or we wanted to stay in Germany, we ended up in Karlsruhe in a kind of a temporary refugee home.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first place everybody gets there. And then from there, we got sent 3 months later to Osterburken. And then we ended up in a refugee home, basically an old hospital that was just like turned into converted, right? And then basically how you have to picture it, there's just one room, kind of a patient room, and that was your apartment, and then you had commercial kitchen and bathrooms. And it was on 2 stories, and it was kind of outside of the Dorf, so you had to getting into the city was like almost 1.8 kilometers walking, you know.
Wow.
And I mean, for me, like, again, like I have very good memories, but hearing again, like, you have to imagine there's people and family from like 100 countries, I guess.
Yeah.
And with like, some have 2 children, some have 8. I remember our neighbors was a family from Bosnia. They had freaking 6 or 7 children, and they are also in that room. You know, there was like no big room, small room. There was just like one room, and everybody was just like kind of waiting for a letter from whatever government to tell you like whether you can stay or not. Because back then there was no structure, there was no like application process, and this is how long it takes. It was just like, I think the government was just like, overthrown with all of these people that came for better life. And then I went to kindergarten, and again, like, my dad was like taking me on a bicycle every day to kindergarten, back and forth. Like, it's just so crazy in this today's world to think about it. And my core memories, good. I had like not a lot of friends, but I really connected easily with everyone, especially because I learned German right away in kindergarten.
That's really cool. You know, you keep saying like that, like you don't remember it feeling bad. And I think that's so cool, because that really shows like the power of what our parents, like the front that they showed. Do you know what I mean? Like that, like despite being in a pretty hard situation, like you don't remember it being as bad as it maybe was.
Right.
Because like your parents are just like so full of love, and it's like, you were gonna do this, and like had a can-do attitude.
Right. And I think they're just so good at hiding bad things of you, a bad energy.
Like protecting you.
Right. You know, like, I don't know. In that moment for me, it's just like, oh, I just got an ice cream. But maybe in the background, they don't know if they had to leave the country in 2 weeks. You know, there's just so many little things that now, even today, when we like sit at dinner and my mom, like, when my dad starts talking, I still like catch new little details or new things that I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
And then I just try to connect it with my whatever memories I have to connect it, and then it kind of becomes like a full circle for me. But
it's just crazy. Yeah, the love of a parent, like of parents, right?
It's crazy.
So you said you immediately, like, you went to kindergarten, and so you don't like remember learning German being hard then, right?
No, it was really seamless.
I love that.
I mean, I gotta say, we had some kind of tutor or Nachhilfe at the Azulanheim, which was nice. So after school, I would go there and do my homework and kind of get help. But no, learning German was, for me, it's like, I guess it's like almost like my first language. You know, like I don't remember how I learned Persian or Farsi.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I learned German. That's the same. But I remember how I learned English.
You're like, that still hurts.
You know, so yeah, it was very seamless. But now, man, even in Munich, I see people studying German. I'm like, fuck that.
And you're like, I'm so glad I didn't have to learn it in the same way.
Yeah, it's like, learn Spanish. It's easy. But like German,
nah. Oh, I'm so happy that like you don't remember it being hard.
No,
I guess a 5-year-old or 6-year-old is just like a sponge.
Like, I closed my eyes. I was like 8. I was like, oh, I know German. Like,
amazing.
That was like the way it is.
I love that. how long were you guys in that situation of like this converted hospital? Like from like how long were you there, and then like where else did you move?
So I think overall we were probably 8 years in there.
Damn.
But I gotta say, my parents like, so we had a good friend in Stuttgart, and he rented out an Wohnung, like kind of 10 kilometers from there, on his name, so we could move out because back then you couldn't work, you didn't have an Arbeitserlaubnis, you couldn't move out, like everything was temporary. You were literally just spending time there and waiting for, it was either every 6 months you have to like go there, and then my parents had to say, okay, like Ali and Hamid studied well, these are their grades, like they're learning German, and then my parents had to like also like learn German and show like how they integrate themselves, and it was like either you get a Duldung or you get an extension of your Aufenthaltserlaubnis.
What's the Duldung?
Duldung, I think it's kind of like you get a status that you're like you don't have an Aufenthaltserlaubnis, and you get sent back to your country. Kind of getting kicked out of country.
Yeah, like they're not going to give you the visa.
Yeah. And I forgot what I went to
say. Then you moved into this apartment that the family friend like wrote in his name.
Yeah, and we were also one of the very few in das Landheim that had a car. Like everybody had like a bicycle, and we had like a little, I don't know, 90 Renault Clio, whatever.
Love it.
But we also like had a car there. Yeah. It was also on his name, and that also created a little bit, like people were not jealous, but like imagine you're like in this setup, and you're one of the two families, whatever, that have a car. So it creates like a thing. So when we moved out, it was like much more peaceful, and that was the first time we felt like we arrived, to a normal life.
And by this time, you're like 13, right?
Yeah. Well, 11, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that was good. But my parents, I remember, and now after hearing the stories, they did everything to get out there as soon as possible, because it was just not good for them mentally, also not good for us, and there was no privacy. But I gotta say, like the connection we had, the people you meet there, it was like it was really nice. Like we still have pictures where we like friends with like all kind of families from everywhere, and it was like you literally had community. That was the thing that you had here and nothing else.
Yeah. I'm trying to like imagine it. Like you're in a hospital hallway, and then there's just like family after family after family. Like the community's
open
there.
Door, it's just like full.
There's like no privacy in that sense.
Like they're cooking like African food. They're cooking from like Bosnia, whatever, Turkish. Like everybody's just on one place. There was like, of course, a big outside area, but you have to imagine all cultures just clash on each other.
So then this apartment, was that in Osterbrücken?
That was in Erlenbach, Ravenstein. Shout out to Ravenstein.
Shout out.
That was like 10 minutes away, 10, 12 minutes away from Osterbrücken. Mm-hmm. And then we still like went to school to like in Osterbrücken.
Yeah.
And that was also where the golf course, like 3 minutes from there, that's where the golf course is.
We're going to get into it. We will.
And I have very good memories, because that was also when computers became more like common. So I had like my first big monitor and computer.
Wow.
We spent a lot of time outside. We had like our own garden. Like it's huge to go from a room to like I think it was 120 square meter.
Life-changing.
Yeah, for sure.
At that point, were your parents able to work then?
I think no. They did though.
Yeah, I mean, how else?
You have to like just like do something.
Yes.
They did, but they just started as like my parents started cleaning a kitchen, then started like getting into cooking. I don't know, like all kind of work that you need to do to just like get money.
As an immigrant here, like I just can't understand why they wouldn't give them a working permit for so many years, and how they expect them to like contribute to society if they're not allowing them to legally work. That's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
because work is like, it's 8 hours of your day.
Yeah.
You meet people, you network, you have to learn to speak, like all kind of things that they want you to know or like learn. That's where you learn it the fastest.
Absolutely. And then they didn't give you the permission to do that.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but my parents, like, as the way they got into Germany, the same mindset, they used it, and then they, found their way.
Yeah. How was growing up in school? You said like you had good friends and stuff.
In school, it was nice. Yeah. So in the Grundschule, so like grade 1 to 4, we're like a very international class, and I met there one of my very good friends, Robert und Alex und Rudolf.
Shout out.
Shout out. It was good, but I gotta say also I faced a lot of like racism and stuff very early on.
And you remember that still?
Yeah. I remember there was like a guy who was always like annoying me, and then one time I just hit him in the balls.
How old were you?
I don't know, like 4th grade, 5th grade.
Oh my God, you were young and like being bullied even then.
And he was tall. Like I don't know. If now I'm 5'11", he was like 6'8". That's how it felt.
Look at you speaking in American.
Facts. Yeah, I guess, and like now when I talk to my friends, it's just so like all of us had the same amount of racism experience. It was just normal, because there was that time where a lot of immigrants came, so the school became colorful. People were from everywhere, and But yeah, that was like, I guess, the bad part. But the good part was just like the friends. I guess, I don't know. Other food. One funny story is, like in Iran, my mom had like this flatbread, and then we'd like roll it, and basically all the Turkish and Iranian families or like kids were just like standing there like this, like having a durum, and the Germans were like with their normal breads.
And that was like the very
but
like the telling sign. Oh, like they're not from here.
Yes, but you know how you like exchange your food.
Yeah.
And I remember, shout out to Andreas. Andreas was like one of my good friends there, and then we started like switching, and I had like his freaking Leberwurst boat, and he
wanted yours. I love it. Shout out Andreas. Yeah. He was a little open-minded kid.
For sure. Yeah, he was.
I love it.
I also remember his mom was also so open-minded, and she invited us to like his birthday.
Yeah.
And for us, she was like, "Oh yeah, there's no pork, like there's no this," and she was really like always making sure that she like treats everyone equally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So you did have friends who were German.
Yes, a lot of them.
Love it.
Especially when you're like from the Dorf.
Yeah.
Like it's a majority. And but I met a lot of like good people. Also like the parents from my friends, they were always like, they invited us for like Mittagessen, and even though they had Pfannkuchen for Mittagessen, whatever that is. But
it's like a German pancake.
Yeah. Just pancake with marmelade. What is marmalade?
Marmalade.
No, is it marmalade?
It is. Yeah, same word.
Yeah, jam. Isn't it jam?
Yeah, that too.
Okay, but yeah,
So like an overall good experience.
Overall, yeah.
Then. Again, I mean, with the occasional little 4th grade racist.
Facts. Yeah.
There, but you showed him. Someone's gotta like stand up.
Someone's watching.
You gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah. Someone's watching this and he's gonna be like, "It was me.
It was me. I was the racist."
Yeah.
I hope things have changed for him. Were there any particular like favorite moment from your childhood that you can recall? I mean, you said a lot of nice ones now, like switching, like lunches and stuff, but like, is there anything that stands out to you, or any friendship?
Oh, I mean, I played soccer actually for a long time. For almost 10 years. So like,
what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know, when literally the first year of like when I was 6 or 7, I started like playing for Osterburgen, SV Osterburgen.
Yeah.
SVO, and then I was really like not really good at it, but I found something that I could work on. So I played there, and then my brother was playing, so it became like almost like a family thing, because my dad was driving us everywhere to the games.
Wow.
And then later on, me and my brother went to FSV Hollenbach, which Jaco, the sports brand. It's like a big sports brand, and their like headquarters was there, and the team was usually kind of the jumping station to go to bigger clubs. And me and my brother like ended up there, and it was 40 minutes away from us. So my dad like drove us 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
Back and forth, or maybe even 4 times, and then there's games. So he was just like driving us all the time there. And
shout out Payman.
yes, Payman, man. I don't know how many million kilometers he drove for us. It's crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. So then I want to now switch into another little chapter all about kind of like, you breaking the barriers and finding community, and starting with sports, because you're talking all about soccer right now. And that was for many years. I didn't know that you were in soccer, because I know you as a golfer. So I wanted to ask, at what point did you start golf, and how did that happen?
So you remember I told you about the computer, that I got a computer?
Yes, yeah.
So we finally got internet.
Yeah.
Internet back then very slow. Me and my brother, we loved games. Like we also we had Game Boy, we had Nintendo, we had all kind of things. And then we started playing this MMORPG. That's basically like online games where you play against each other.
Ooh.
And back then there was a golf game. It's called Shot Online. Shout out Shot Online, honestly.
Aww,
shout out.
It started everything.
Yes, and we played like for 2 years online golf against other people in Europe, and at some point we were like one of the best.
What?
And, yeah. And
dude, hidden talent.
And it was so fun. Like that's probably one of my favorite memories with me and my brother. It was just like me and him sitting next to each other on like a little chair, whatever.
Yeah.
On this big ass monitor, and we're just like, he's playing and I'm watching him, or I'm playing, and we just like switch back and forth. And
at this point, you've never held a club before.
No, I still have.
This is just like
online. That was just like 2 years playing golf, like and it was like super unrealistic. But anyways, and then my mom, and I told you like the new apartment was like 3 minutes from the golf club, and my mom got a job there too, in a golf restaurant as a service, and then. Yeah, and then one day she was like, "Hey, there was like a Schnupperkurs, kind of like a introduction course to golf. It's like €6, and I went there and I just tried like whatever, just I knew all the vocabulary of golf.
Ooh, but that's really cool because of the game.
Yeah, like I knew everything: the green, fairway, rough, whatever there is. Yeah. And then I saw it, and I remember the first time I went there and I just like touched the grass because it's so like low, but it's still real, and I was like, whoa, that's how it feels.
Oh wow. How old were you?
That was 2000, I don't know, I think I was 13.
Okay.
And
first time, yeah.
And then after 20 balls, like I just tried to hit, and then the 20th I really like it went like 100 meters. It flew. And when you hit a golf club, like a golf ball nicely, it just feels like you're hitting through butter. It's just like smooth, and everything just makes sense. And then that shot just like made me addicted.
Yeah.
And I was still playing soccer back then, like big time.
Yeah.
But then you found me the next 3 weeks every day on a golf course.
Wow.
And then the coach came to me. He was like, "Hey, I didn't have golf clubs." He gave me like the golf clubs from his wifey.
I love that.
And then I just called, and then I re-signed from football, from soccer.
Wow.
Because I didn't go to. I stopped going to practice.
And you found a new passion.
Yes, but they're like, "Where the fuck are you?" I'm like, "I'm on the golf course."
I'm on the golf course. What do you mean where I am?
It's just the most random shit ever. Like how has it happened? Because it's a game that you're not easily introduced to. Like
no,
it's like more for upper class, richer people.
Absolutely.
And especially from where we're coming from, I just ended up starting to play this game. Yeah.
Wow. What role did golf play in like establishing community then? Like you mentioned that like was that your first coach? Like or that he like gave you his like wife's old clubs? Like did that like kickstart like finding community within the sport?
For sure. Yeah, because he was kind of the coach of the team.
Yeah.
And he knew all the people in the golf club. So that did kickstart. But he like helped me to have a plan on practicing.
Yeah.
To like get better. And then I started having like lessons. Then I got my Platzreife, which is kind of a core. You have to like do a test in order to show that you're good enough to go on the big course, like on the 18-hole golf course. And then I did that, and I started playing tournaments.
Wow. Question: did you have to pay full price for your practices, or did they
No, man. This guy Marcus, shout out to Marcus.
Shout out Marcus. He hooked you up.
Yeah, huge. Like he was, at the beginning he didn't charge us, and then later on, I don't know. I think if a lesson costs like 60, he asked my dad for like 15 euros or something. Like he really helped out.
Made it attainable.
For sure. And yeah, and then I played a bunch of different course, like club tournaments, and I started winning them. Then my handicap is like a number where it kind of shows your ranking in golf, like how good you are. And my handicap just kept getting more down, so I got better. And then I mean, it's a huge chapter of my life. But basically I just got addicted, and in 2 years I got better, played like state championships and qualified for a national championship in Germany.
Wow.
Which is actually a fun part because I got my German passport, like my Aufenthaltserlaubnis or my Bürger, what is it?
Yeah, whatever your passport, your citizenship.
Your citizenship, there you go. I got it like 4 or 5 years earlier than my parents and my brother because I qualified for the national championship, and I was like I was playing everything. My parents were driving me everywhere. I was like, I'm gonna do this shit,
Yeah.
And then I played like really good in the state championship in Baden-Württemberg, and then I qualified. It's just like 60 people in Germany in under 16. But then they're like, you cannot play because you don't have a German citizenship. Like you're not a German.
German.
You're just not a German player.
A German national.
You're like an Iranian with German Aufenthaltserlaubnis.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? I cannot play? Like I worked the last 2.5 years so I can make it. And you have to imagine like in the Leistungssport, or like it's very competitive. You have like every state has their team, and then there's national team, and everybody wants to get in there, and it's very like reserved. And imagine like me going with my stupid golf clubs, like, and like with my bag from eBay and my polo from H&M, like, or whatever, just like because I didn't want to spend 100 euros on a polo.
But you had a dream and you were good.
Facts, but they look at you. It's almost like cycling in Munich, when you started and they're like, oh, that's like decathlon stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's decathlon, and you're ugly, but that's the same. It's the same vibe, and I'm about to get my decathlon stuff, but anyways, and then they said you can play here, but there was a beautiful soul, the president of the Baden-Württembergische Golfverband, Rainer, I forgot your last name, but shout out to you.
Shout out Rainer.
He wrote like a 7-8 page letter to like the, I don't know,
the Amt,
Ausländeramt, whatever it is.
KVR.
Yes. Yeah. No, even higher. He went like to the Bundesrepublik, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks later, I had like my citizenship.
No
I'm
way.
not even fucking kidding. And that was like the most unexpected because I was so sad. Like I didn't give a fuck about the citizenship. Like I was so sad about not playing it. Like I was just like, I had to go, regional state, and then go to nationals. Basically nationals,
And you qualified for nationals.
I qualified for it, and then I couldn't. But then I got my
2 weeks. Ali, how did I not know any of this?
Well, I don't know.
Crazy.
And crazy. And then I had my German passport.
And your parents are like, dang, we have a German son. Where's ours?
They're like, isn't the rule like if my son gets it, I get it too?
I was the one that drove him.
Right.
All those times
I made food for him.
I feed him. Yeah.
Like I pressed him out. Like it's me. Yeah.
And they're like, no, just for Ali.
Yeah,
like,
just for a golfer.
Wow.
Whatever. It's actually a really crazy story.
Crazy.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, talking about it, you're like, oh, he gets citizenship because of golf. But
yeah. And then so you were literally like 15 because you said under 16, right?
Yes.
And you make it to the freaking national level in Germany. How did you end up going to UTRGV, like in South Texas, where I'm from? 956 represent. How did you get discovered? Did you find the university? Did they find you? Like, how did that go?
It's also a good story. So basically, I played the nationals.
Yeah.
That was for me. Okay, like I'm good enough to play like bigger events. Then I started. My parents, man, they just like work day and night to invest for the tournaments because they're expensive. You pay like the drive, even sometimes it's a flight, the hotel, food, tournament costs, whatever it is. It's like pretty expensive, especially not in our like financial level.
Yeah.
But then I started playing a lot of events here and there. So and also I gotta say, even though I got a German citizenship, at the same time, I started playing for the Iranian national team, which is kind of twisted because, my parents flew from the country, not the country, the government that they don't like.
They fled.
Right. And then these guys found me on Google and they're like, oh, there was an Iranian player who can play that good. And I was like, yeah. And I had like handicap, I don't know, 0 or 1 at that point. Like, it's very good. You're like almost on professional level. And then they were like, we don't believe you, because they saw some scores. We don't believe you. And then my mom like did all the communications. And basically, I flew back to Iran. They invited me for like a training on the only golf course in Iran, which has 14 holes. A golf course has usually 18,
Okay.
But so
theirs had 14.
So there's a backstory. So the king of the Iran, like the Shah, he built that because, again, he was very Western. He played golf. Golf was a thing back then. Then through whatever. There was like war and like revolution, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They took the last 4 holes for whatever military, whatever. Like, whatever.
So there's 14 now.
Yes, there's 14. And then, anyways, like I got flown in to Iran and I saw my family again, like after a long time. It was nice with my dad. And then I had to like play against these and like, again, like I had to play against the national team and prove myself that I'm good enough.
Oh my gosh. And how old were you?
That was like, 16, 15, I don't know, like that range. Like, still, I was a baby.
Yeah.
Like, my Farsi even worse than now. Like,
yeah.
And I got there and I just basically played against them. I was like, 14 holes? What's happening? Like,
where's the other court?
And the grass was like, the quality was just super bad. Like, nobody took care of the golf course. Imagine you just like leave a piece of land, just be.
Yeah.
You know,
it was wild.
Yeah, but then I played pretty good. I shot like 7 under. That's like really, really good.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe it. So they were like, yo, we want you for the team. I was like, yo, I can play for you guys, but yo, I'm not coming back here because I don't know what's happening, with politics and so on. So yeah, basically I flew back. Then I became Iranian national team player.
How many people were on that team?
Not many, like maybe 15, 12. Like, the game is so small, maybe 2,000-3,000 people play in Iran right now.
Yeah.
But they, of course, because it's a nation, they have like kind of the privilege to send players to bigger events.
Yeah.
And that was what motivated me the most, because I knew, okay, I can play like world championships and
go places.
Right.
Through them.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I end up playing in the national team. So I played the world championship in Turkey. I went to Japan world championship, like Thailand, some Asian. Like I played so many different events.
That's insane.
And basically, I went to the world championship and I was like, what are these people from university in the US doing here? Like, they were like proper scouts, I guess.
Yeah.
They were there, and every player, like, it was like the world championship is like the best 3 players from each country. So imagine, like, there's Canada, there's Spain, like, motherfuckers. Yes. Like, they're good. Like, they're like world ranking
top of the
so on.
top.
Yeah, and then it's just me. And but I was like the top of the top for Iran. You know? So, and then the Middle Eastern people were together. So I met so many people during like these events. But basically, I saw a scout, and there was like an American guy who was following me on the last round in Turkey. And I was playing like decent for that time. And he was talking to my mom. He's like, hey, you should go to the US. And my mom was like, what's up there? What's going on there? And he was like,
your mom's like, yes, the dream. Like,
he's like,
the dream
we wanted
on.
to go there. But basically, he like kind of educated us on the system, the college sports over there, the scholarships, and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he told my mom that there's a tournament in Florida later that year, like in December. Mm-hmm. Florida Junior, International, whatever. And that's also where all the scouts come. Ooh. My parents heard of this. And also, he kind of got me an invite into it.
Wow.
So
you went to
in
Florida?
December, I went to like Port St. Lucie, PGA headquarters. Like, that's the dream. Florida is like the state for golf.
Yeah.
And I was playing this event, and I played actually pretty good. And I had the scouts, and then these people were like, yeah, you need to go to do. Then I got introduced to other people who were scouts. And then that's how I went into the world of, like college golf.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of through 16, 17.
Yeah.
And then to make this story not too long, but basically I wanted to do it through a scout, but then they didn't find me enough good offer because in the US they're like D1, D2, D3.
Yeah.
And back then I was so confident. I was like, I ain't playing D3 or like junior college or like D2. I just played the first league. So I ended up emailing all 464 universities and coaches. And I was pretty good with computers back then because I was
And you were like now 17, right? Maybe?
Yes. But
in English, sending those emails out in English.
And there was no ChatGPT.
Crazy. Like you had to use your brain.
I think I paid someone on Fiverr to like write me a text and also to like proofread it. Like I was a smart motherfucker.
I'm so impressed. You were 17. Like you literally paid someone.
And imagine finding all the emails of the coaches, writing it on Excel, like what sales teams do nowadays. I did it back then.
You did for yourself.
and I still have these emails. It's the same email I write from, and I ended up emailing all of them, and I had 64 offers.
Oh my gosh.
Like pretty good.
Ali, you're insane. Like in the best way.
Pretty good. And then
this is crazy.
I asked them for how much a scholarship I get, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it was like most expensive to least.
Yeah.
And there we find University of Texas Pan American back then. And that's how I got to UTRGV.
So they gave you a good offer.
They did give me a good offer, but it's also one of the cheapest colleges in the US.
Yeah.
By the way. But yeah, and for me it was just important. Not too cold. I don't want to be golfing in Nebraska or whatever,
That's true.
you know. So it was just like good weather.
It's freaking warm all the time.
Yeah.
Where I'm from.
It's almost too warm. But I loved it, man. And I accepted the offer. I never usually do like a visit. You see if you like it, but bro,
none of that.
Refugee life, no visit, no money to money to waste, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, coach, I'm signing. I signed it, booked my flight 2 months later. Like I was also last minute. Usually, you know, like 2 years ahead, I'm going to UCLA, I'm going to this. But I was just like, because imagine I started with like 13 and a half.
Yeah.
And still with end of 17, 18, I made it to college. And college is like the really good players, you know?
Yeah.
And
for sure.
And when I arrived in McAllen, Texas, I remember I called my coach because I didn't imagine. I was like, "What is the United States?" I went before that one time to Florida for that event.
Yeah, but you were like with people,
right? And I was there for a week.
Like, you were not unattended.
And Florida is kind of white.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you get to the valley, and it's like all
and I
Latinos.
arrived in McAllen, Texas.
I love it.
So first of all, I was never so far away from my parents, and I arrived in McAllen, Texas, and I swear I called the coach. I was like, "Coach, I think I took the wrong flight. Everyone here is like brown."
They're all speaking Spanish.
Yes, they're all Hispanic. They all look like me.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "No, you're fine."
You arrived at the place.
Man, I loved it.
Man.
And that's how I got to the US.
Yeah. That's crazy. And then like, how would you say those 5 years like affected, how did it shape your life? Living in not just the US, y'all, like in South Texas. Like for some context, y'all, where I'm from, like it is so culturally homogenous, meaning like our census of like my hometown is like 92%, I think, Hispanic, like Latinos. And
even UTRGV was 92%, yeah.
Something like around there. Like it is not international in that sense. There's not even like a lot of white people.
Like if you're white, you're like everybody looks at you.
It's rare. Like no, it's not like rarer, but like it's like not as common.
Yeah, very.
So like with that context, like did you know before?
No, I had no fucking idea.
You didn't know like what you were walking into. You're like South Texas.
I didn't know South Texas had palm trees. I arrived there. I was like, wow, palm trees.
Ooh, tropical.
Yeah, tropical. It was the best. I arrived there.
Like I love to hear it.
Even like in the 5th day, I was on a party my first time. Like, and I remember like
I love it.
All my teammates were like French, Spanish, Mexican, Americans. So I just loved it, man. I arrived there, then my golf clubs, first time having like a big travel bag with all my life in it.
Yeah.
Started practicing. He showed me the courses. We got like our gear.
Yeah.
You know,
branded.
And then we had like the college food, and it was all like beans and rice and tacos. I'm like, taco. I was like, no mama's way. That's crazy.
No mama's way. I love it. What was your favorite food in the valley? What do you miss?
man, by far, like real freaking Mexican tacos.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. With corn tortillas.
Insane. Like, I'm still to this day looking for it in Munich. There's one. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you ain't Mexican. Like, that's not the real Mexican, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just like classic tacos.
And of course, like all the fast foods you had, like I remember on the university drive, we had like 50 or 40 fast food. Like I knew only
Crazy.
McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, because it's German.
Yeah.
But then you had Jack in the Box, you had Whataburger, you had, I don't know, 3 different taco fast food.
Yeah, Taco Palenque.
Yeah.
Taco P.
Yeah, and Dairy Queen.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Blizzard, like it was crazy. Like it was the best, and we're all Europeans.
Yeah,
we're just like bro, and we're just like eating all day, not knowing that it's not that great. And also for context, like the whole athletics department was around 320 people. Mm-hmm. The university had 36,000 students.
Dang.
So it was like I arrived at a right place because you were like a very fraction of the...
You were in an elite group.
Yes.
You were a student athlete.
I was student athlete.
You even had it on your like graduation stole, like a student athlete.
Yes. No, I loved it. And people were from everywhere, you know?
So cool.
So I made so many friends. And you were not alone because everybody else could relate to you, to your situation.
Many people were also like recruited, right?
Yes,
and that's why like your student athlete group
I think
was
70
so
countries.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's extremely diverse for the Valley. Because like, and they weren't all from there. Like they came to the Valley, like where I'm
like
from.
Serbia, Brazil, Spain, like everywhere. It was really nice. Yeah.
That's so cool. I forgot that like we haven't even said like how we met, which is crazy. So shout out Justin.
Yeah. I can actually. So basically later on,
you tell me your story.
I had like a solid 50-60% scholarship, but it was still money. And for context, like even my best friends back then, they're like, yo, you go to United States and I don't know, spend probably 20-30K over the 4 years to study, even though you can do it almost for free here. And I was like, you guys don't get it because...
You don't get it.
Yeah, you don't get it. I want to play golf.
Yeah.
Like, I have a dream. So, but for me, it made sense. My parents said, of course, but I didn't know, like, the hardship. It was really hard for them.
Yeah.
But basically, I was living on $120 to $150 a month.
Holy shit.
Like, I was turning every dollar I could.
Yeah.
And then... what do I say? Oh, yeah, and I started working as a German tutor at UTRGV in the Learning Center. And Justin, which is Paulina's
high school. I mean, childhood friend. We
right?
met in middle school.
He was an ASL, what is it?
ESL, English as a second language tutor.
Right, a tutor. And then I remember, like, at the very end, after my 4th year, he was like, yo, hey, Ali, when you go back to Germany... stop by Munich. My best friend Paulina is there. Woo!
Oh.
And then and that's how we actually later on met. Because
it's crazy. Yeah. So my story is that like my friend Justin was like, "Hey, like I know a German," and I was like, "Oh, cool."
Especially German. You're like German.
He was like, "Yeah, like I have a German friend." I'm like, "Cool." And that I was just like, okay, well, I live in Germany, and like I was like, what is a German doing in South Texas? Like. What?
Teaching other people German.
I was just like, first off, how did he end up there? And then I think we added each other on Instagram. And then a few years later, you're like, hey, I'm moving to Munich. Like, and the rest was history.
And we were almost neighbors.
Yeah, crazy. Shout out Reggerplatz.
Paloma.
Near Rosenheimer Platz and Paloma. Yeah. I wanted to also move on and ask you then, this is a good transition. What was it like transitioning back to life in Germany? Because I remember you had a job offer and you wanted to stay. Like initially, like your heart wanted to stay in the US. You had that job offer, like the visa didn't go through. So like it wasn't like you were running back to Germany excited at first. Like how was it?
So I was done with my 4 years, and then in the US you can do a 5th year. It's called OPT, where you kind of get work experience and hopefully get an extension for your work visa.
Yeah.
So, and my dumb ass was like, oh, like, let's stay in golf. So I ended up like working at a golf club or a country club in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Shout out San Antonio. As an assistant coach. But then I worked there for a year and the visa didn't work out. But then through some other connection, I wanted to like start a marketing program at Oracle.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, let's do it, blah, blah. But then the visa didn't work out because getting a work visa in the US, I don't know how it is now, but back then it was also almost impossible. And they just like give it to people that really need it, like, or where like the US really needs like these people. Yeah. And that's why they get it like from international.
And this was the time of like Obama back then, right?
No, that was
Trump.
It
Trump's first?
That was Trump. Yeah. And then, but I tried everything. Like, I tried everything. To stay.
Like, your dream was to stay.
And I loved it there because when I had like this big dream of playing pro golf. And in Germany, it was always like very limiting. It was like, oh, like, it's so hard. Like, why don't you just get a job? But in the US, everyone was like, oh,
anything's
good luck.
Possible.
Anything's possible.
Like,
good luck.
Like, it feels that way.
Yeah, and people like... That's true, but I think the feeling was like what I needed because mentally I was in a good place. Like I needed also the environment to be not negative in a way. Yeah. So and I just loved it there, and I got better at golf. I got better at everything. I was just like addicted to knowledge and just even in my off time I was like listening to motivational speech. I was listening to podcasts back then. You know. So I was like I really wanted it. Yeah. And then at some point I just like there was nothing else that I could do. Yeah. So I went back, and then I went back to Osterburgen, to the Dorf, and I was just like, what the heck? Like bad weather, cloudy, like
no tacos.
No working out places like right there, no coaches, like, and going from student athlete to back to normal Dorf life, it's crazy because there you have like all this infrastructure that gives you like everything you need to get better at your craft. And then back then in Germany, you have to like work for everything. You have to like try to make partnerships with this gym, Like everything is just so much harder to in being an athlete, I guess. Yeah. But I knew I had to like get out of Dorf. So I got an internship in Munich in design. And by the way, I learned design a little bit in college because I majored in mass communications. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I did a little YouTube and I got an internship and then I ended up here.
And the rest is history.
How
do you feel now here in Munich?
Good. I think Munich is the best place in Germany.
Hell yeah.
Guys, let's start fighting in the comments. Yeah. But it's just facts.
Berlin sucks.
It's facts, man. Stuttgart sucks. Mannheim sucks.
Berlin doesn't
Frankfurt
suck.
sucks.
Berlin doesn't suck, but I love Munich. Munich's the best city.
Munich has like the best... It really is. The thing is, when you work in the US, you have like 10 holidays max.
I know.
Payday.
Per year.
Yeah, what the heck? Like, you're just made to be... the system is hustling. Yeah. You gotta hustle. Yeah. But then in Germany, you have like this good work-life balance. You do. You work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or even 9 to 4 or 3:30. Friday, you don't work, whatever. I mean, it's just I'm Selbstständig.
It's just his opinion.
Yes, because Paulina works until 7 p.m. But anyways, but then, what was I saying?
That like Munich with a work-life balance, and we have like 30 days of vacation in corporate here.
Yes, and when you have the off time, and of course you have 30 days everywhere else, I know people in the comments, but with the off time, you can really enjoy it. You have like the nature, the city just doesn't make you feel like you have space to be. I don't know how to explain.
You have the Isar, you have lakes within the city.
Yes.
You have lakes outside of the city.
People are, I would say, more happy than the rest of Germany. Just like the opportunity is nice, I
love that. And once again, it's kind of like Germany's like not what you wanted back then, but it was what you needed. Like Germany's like providing.
I think so.
I love that. I want to go into this last chapter, all about like hope and back on like the refugee topic to kind of go full circle and ask, how do you like genuinely view Germany today, and has that changed since you were grown up? I mean, you just said great things about Munich, right? But like the country as a whole.
That's a big question.
It's a big one.
It's a big question. I think the circumstances have changed. Yeah. Like COVID, then you work offline, and then you have now AI. So I think the world in general is changing. And I just think overall, if you look at economy, like in Germany, everything, like life got more expensive while the salaries stay the same. And I think that's a lot of places like this, but I feel like in Germany it's getting harder and harder to like sustain a good lifestyle. And yeah, but I don't know. I don't know in regards of like refugee politics or whatever. But from what I hear is like being a refugee nowadays in Germany, that's like a lottery ticket. I mean, it was also back then for us, but there was no infrastructure. There was like, you're just like lost in like Germany. There's no internet. There's nothing.
Yeah.
But now you have like so many different resources that you can get help. You can like, like they help you to just like have a good start. For us it was just like there was nothing.
Yeah.
You had like Wörterbuch, the Duden, and I think just like overall like there has been a lot of changes to be integrated and to have a good start here. You just have to figure out how to don't spend too much money on dumb shit, hard. I guess. Yeah,
it's hard. What do you think Germans get wrong about refugee experiences here?
I just think, I mean, I don't blame them. It's just hard for them to understand where you're coming from.
They can't.
Yeah, it's hard to understand like all the big menu on problems that you get with it. It's not only like, okay, like someone comes here to study so they hopefully earn more money. Yeah. It's also they leave back their family. They're alone.
Yeah.
And especially alone in this world is different than being alone 20 years ago. Like,
yeah,
it's just harder to connect. You don't know the language. Like everywhere you need like German, English is also not easy. So I think and that's just like the thing. And then you have private problems, you maybe have some needs.
Yeah.
You have family that you're missing and so on. And I mean, in our case back then, like we had people from the Asylantenheim that tried to get us out of there, like labeling us as freaking belonging to a terror group or whatever, like just random stuff.
Crazy shit.
So people like shooting at you. And I think nowadays there's more understanding for refugees.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just human nature to be more understanding, It's the same thing like if a day at work is bad, like you're not gonna judge them based on everything else. It's just like they're having a bad day, and I think they're just coming from a different
world. Yeah. Like it's hard, like you said, like you don't blame them.
The base is not just here, like that the neutral happiness is there. Like it's down here. You're thinking about the minimum stuff, and I think people just need to be a little more careful and
absolutely
understanding.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. That I think, like you said, you can't blame them for not understanding because, like, how could they?
Because at the end of the day, they're trying, right?
Yeah, but that, like, understanding, like, trying to understand or, like, just, like, even a little bit is needed.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, even on a day-to-day, man. Like, with Germans yelling here in Munich, like... A little bit more compassion.
Yeah, even on the Radwege, on the bicycle.
Especially.
It's just don't be so grumpy.
Yeah.
I remember when I came back from the US, I was like saying to everyone, "Hey, how are you? Hey, hey." I was just like greeting everyone. And I was like, "What the heck? What's going on with this guy?"
Oh.
And I think we gotta bring this back.
Bring back hellos.
Yeah, bring back hellos and being nice. Being nice is normal.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk to someone else and just ask for a direction.
Be nice to strangers.
I know the personal space is very sacred in Germany, but it's okay
to ask for help.
The train is sometimes also full and you gotta squeeze in,
Yeah. What would you say to a young person, a young like Ali, arriving in Germany right now that would be in a similar situation as you were when you grew up? What words of wisdom would you have?
Damn. I would say never let any other opinion affect you negatively. I would say only you know deep inside what you know, what you can do, and what you're worth. And positivity is always the winner.
I love that. I love that. Ali, that was so inspirational. I'm definitely inspired. And I've had an amazing hour with you today.
That was so fast.
Crazy, right? The time flew by. I just wanted to say thank you so much, for this incredible episode. I learned even more about you, about my own friend. Where can people find you?
Oh my God. On social
Everywhere.
media.
LinkedIn.
At Ali Kazanbike.
I'll put all the information in the description.
Just connect with me.
Yeah, Ali has a great business as a
designer.
Yeah, designer. So if y'all need a designer in your life, get in touch with him.
Hit me up. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've made it to the end of this episode, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this episode, please, give it a like, give it a comment. Share, subscribe, do all of those good things. And until next time, thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot. The Pod Abroad's video, audio, and music is produced and edited by Tim Teherne. Make sure to give us a follow and leave a comment if you like this episode.